Hey, Sooner football fans. Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Podcast Palace. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boom, Terry.
Boomer Rhett.
Boomer.
Rhett's hanging out because he's a college student, has nothing to do. We got Rob in his natural podcasting state of nothingness. Leisure, nothingness.
I just need a drink.
What do you call this position?
This is hard at work.
Hard at work. Gotcha. But anyway, we wanted to show you kind of where we do everything here. Y'all have heard about it. This is the Great Wall of Steelers. It's obviously half the size of the Great Wall of Sooners. And we've got autographs from Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Ben Roethlisberger, Terry Bradshaw. And then we got the Sooner Wall that's got autographs from the King, Barry Switzer, the 2000 football staff, 2000 national championship.
Where's my autograph?
I don't know, Rob. I've never asked for it. Then we got Bob Stoops. We've got Lincoln Riley, Josh Heupel, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing now. People don't like Josh Heupel anymore, do they?
I still like Josh.
I still like Josh.
Yeah.
Jason White, Billy Sims, several from our good buddy Jamel Holloway, and Teddy Lehman. Not he's our good buddy, but Teddy, and Jason White, and a whole bunch of other Sooner stuff, and Steeler stuff. And then, of course, we got the wall of rock and roll, or heavy metal. Which one is it, Rhett? Rock and roll or heavy metal, or do you care?
Rock and roll.
Okay. So, but this is where we do our podcast from. When you hear us say Podcast Palace, this is the Podcast Palace.
This is it.
So, we got the big screen TV that we sit here and watch, and here's the M&M collection that Rob apparently has something against M&Ms. I don't know why he doesn't like my M&M collection. Why don't you like my M&M collection, Rob?
Well, I can't eat them, so.
But Merry Christmas, everybody. This is the Podcast Palace. So now we're going to talk a little bit of Sooner football. All right, now, Rob, you ready to talk some Sooner football?
I'm ready.
What's going to happen Saturday? First off, what do you want for Christmas?
Whirled peas?
What?
I don't know. What do you want for Christmas?
There's a game.
Want
to win?
Santa's not bringing that. The Sooners are bringing that.
The Sooners are bringing that?
The Sooners are bringing it.
We don't need no Santa magic?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? What do we got to do? I'm asking your expert opinion.
We got to do what we've been doing all year. We got to do what we've been doing all year, and that's score. Score. And the defense is going to show up, and they're going to play tough. Alabama's not going to score at will on us.
You don't think so?
Nope.
So you have pulled the Kool-Aid out of the packet and poured it and stirred it.
I just think they're getting better.
They're getting better?
They're getting better. You know, we've played opportunistic like we've talked about, you know, with a couple of scooping scores here and there. The defense, I just feel like it's getting better. And I've been saying all year that we haven't seen them play what they're capable of playing.
Right.
And I think we're going to see it in the Orange Bowl.
We've said it all along. There's a whole lot of 3 and 4 star athletes on this defense. That secondary, I think, if I'm not mistaken, every single one of them had an offer from Alabama. So,
well, we know Buki did.
Yeah, but they were recruited by everybody. So it's not that we don't have the athletes to do it.
Right.
Something gone on early part of the season, whatever has gone on. I'm like you, is we've seen them get better these last couple of weeks. So is it lying on the defense? Is that what we're going to rely on? Or are we going to rely on our Sooners offense just outscoring?
Well, I think we got to stick with what's been working all year. We can't, as much as I want to say that the defense is going to be better, they're going to play better. I can't rely on that,
right?
Because they haven't done it.
They haven't done it yet,
not very often,
right,
all year long. So, but the offense has on everybody. You know, the Army game, everybody's like, "Oh, y'all better beat Army." Well, we scored every time. I think we had the ball except for once, or
right?
Maybe twice.
Just we didn't have the ball.
So, I mean, yeah, I think Alabama can slow us down. If anybody can, Alabama can.
Right.
Because they're good. In fact,
Real good.
More than half the team's going to be playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Lincoln Riley. I mean, my trust is in Lincoln because, I mean, he's always called a game. You know, we've talked about it all year.
He doesn't. He doesn't make mistakes calling games.
He's like the A team. You give him half an hour and he's good. You give him a week and he's.
And you brought up Army. You did see what Army did Saturday, didn't you?
70-14.
70-14 over
and
Houston.
Houston's not a bad team.
No. And how Army didn't end up ranked in the top, 25 at the end of the year in everybody's poll.
Yeah. You know what? They would have beat a lot of good teams.
Yeah, they would have. I mean,
Sure
the Army would have played the same game against Alabama and anybody else they faced. They would have played keep away. That was their whole thing.
Yep.
Was, it's hard to beat a team when their goal is to get 3 yards of play.
Well, and they're good at it, and it's not like they don't have athletes.
Right.
They got some good, some strong kids. We've said it before.
Yeah, and they got some guys that can kill you.
They got some guys that can kill you. Probably every one of them.
Probably, yeah. So, but anyway, my thing is that Alabama has not seen an offense like Oklahoma.
No.
Okay.
Do you think they've seen good offenses though? I mean, what's the best offense they've seen all year?
Probably Georgia. I mean, Georgia put up 28 points on them.
Yeah.
And
Jake Fromm, State Farm is pretty.
Jake Fromm, State Farm. So, but they haven't seen anybody as dynamic. I guarantee you, their defensive coordinators and Nick Saban are sitting around here trying to figure out.
Oh yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Well, nobody's seen Kyler Murray until you play against him.
And
you can watch him on film, but
it's like Gary Patterson said. We brought it up a whole bunch of times. Oklahoma can run the same play and run it out of 8 different sets and 8 different blocking schemes. They adjust very quickly. Lincoln adjusts very quickly. And I was watching. We're sitting here. We got the Kansas City game on, and what's their coach's name? Just went blank. Was that the Eagles? I got it. Kansas City's coach, Rhett. Can't think of his name. Big guy. Anyway, he's walking around. He calls their offensive plays, and he's got a poster board full of plays and highlighted. And Lincoln is a lot like, I guess, his mentor, Leach. Carries around a piece of paper and a pencil, and
it's probably just got like some scribbles, like a stick drawing of a guy or something.
Or he writes down, "Don't do that again." I think that's the only thing he does. I don't think he really relies on it. He makes notes of, "Oh, wait a second, the safety, bit on that one. So next time do this." I don't know what's on. Maybe that's a question we can ask him the next time where, he has the coaches show. What's on that? What are you writing on that piece of paper?
Yeah. That's I not tell you, but it's still a good question.
You don't think he'll tell us?
No, I don't.
What do you think about the Alabama fans? They're talking a lot of smack.
Well, they got every reason to talk it. They got every right to talk it. As bad as we, don't want to admit that, they're a juggernaut, and they have been for 10 years.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And, but I just love the comparison is that nobody on this Oklahoma offense can play at Alabama. Kyler Murray's good, but only 1 or 2 of their linemen might be able to. What do you mean? It's the best offensive line in the country, hands down. And like I said, the matchups, I really think it's going the physicality up front. I think it's going to come up to the matchups in our secondary against their wide receivers on whether or not we can stop them, and then whether or not all of a sudden these guys. What is our defense going to do that's different than they've done? This isn't a Big 12 offense. That's been the excuse, has it not?
No, it has.
Hey, you don't play against these Big 12 offenses. You don't know what it is. Well, this isn't a Big 12 offense.
No.
So scrap what you're saying
all right,
and go win the game.
If you put our corners one-on-one with those receivers, I think we have to expect to lose that matchup.
Right.
So we need to get to a
Tagovailoa.
Yep. We got to get to him. I mean, there's just no doubt about it.
Yeah.
If he's allowed to sit back there and pick us apart, and they will score at will.
Right.
And if they score at will, they're probably going to beat us.
Yeah.
Because they will have some success later on in the game.
Right.
Early on, I think we'll probably move it pretty much at will on them. So it's going to be, we're going to have to outscore them, I think.
Well, we've always said, we need 5 stops, 28 points. How many stops do we need in this game? Do we still need 5, or
No.
we going to need 4, 3?
Yeah, 3 or 4. I think 3 or 4. If we get 3 or 4 stops,
It's going to be a game.
we're going to win the ball game.
Yeah.
If we get 2 turnovers, we're going to win the ball game.
Yeah.
If they do what they want when they want, they're going to win the ball game.
Right. Right. And, this isn't 2014 Sugar Bowl. There's a lot more on the line. It's 2 completely different teams. There's a lot of comparisons going up there, but those comparisons are good. Alabama hasn't beat Oklahoma. Saban wasn't there in 2 of the games, but he was at 1, and they got pretty much manhandled. That game wasn't even close. They got beat up offensively and defensively. And that's the mentality. What I'm really hoping is that, they talk about when Remember the Titans came out, every football team went and watched Remember the Titans, and even OU that year went and watched it. I'm really hoping Lincoln has put that tape on and put the press clippings out there. What everybody said, there's no chance Oklahoma is going to beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl in 2014. And we went out there and physicaled up and played with them.
Beat them down.
And that's what we're going to have to do now.
Yeah, well, you can throw out everything that happened in the past because that's all in the past. What we got is this year.
Right.
This year's what we got. And what I really hope is, Alabama knows they're good.
Yep.
They know it. We don't need to tell them. Nobody needs to tell them. They know they're good. They've been beaten in a long time. They're year after year, they are the favorite to win.
Right.
So hopefully, they're just like, well, we can just throw our helmet out on the field and win.
Do that, please, Alabama, and see what happens.
I hope that's what happens.
So, well, I said, the superstitions out there or the traditions of it. Number one is since the playoffs in 4 years of playoffs, 5 years of playoffs, a undefeated team has never won the championship, and the number 1 seed has never won it. So we got that in our favor too. And I believe in that stuff. When you look at that stuff, how it winds out, the playoffs are in a very short amount of time. We've only done it, but hey, Alabama's been that number 1 seed and got knocked off. And there's never been an undefeated national champion since the playoffs began. So a little bit of, superstition or tradition in our favor as well, but it's going to come down to how well and our offense executes against this defense, because it's one offense going against one defense. Number 1 offense, number 1 defense. Unfortunately, it's their number 2 offense going against our number 90 defense. But
are we up that high, 90?
Something like that.
I thought we're in the triple digits.
But these guys, like you said, they've been opportunistic the last two games of the season, and that's all we need. Make the plays when you can make them. Don't drop interceptions. Recover the fumble. Knock down passes. We do that, we're in the game.
Yeah, if we get them in 3rd and long, we can't give up long.
Right.
If we get them in 3rd and 18, we can't give up 20.
Right.
Which is what we did when we lost at Texas.
Yeah.
So
we don't talk about losses here. But anyway, guys, this is our YouTube channel. This is our YouTube show. This is our first one from the Podcast Palace. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure and hit that subscribe button. I think it's down that way. Yeah, I think it's to your right at the bottom. It says subscribe.
Don't point at me.
So, but subscribe. You can listen to our podcast on YouTube as well. But we're out there on iTunes.
And remember.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to do that, didn't we?
We are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.